I see you with anticipation.
But it's not my place to judge why people like a weird thing. I never do that.
Then where you fall?
Absolute moral chaos.
What is wrong with you? What the f? What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire. Patient.
Life is chaos of nothing.
Life is sacred.
Welcome, everybody. We are back from the universe. Welcome. My name is Spider,
and I'm Alexander,
and this is the Freak and the Deviant podcast, episode negative 33. Negative 33.
Wow.
We keep going. The show keeps going.
We're in
fun.
space.
We are now in space. The studio has officially modified a little bit.
We have gone to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism.
Yeah.
Kudos to people who actually know what that's from. Please.
Oh man, I just realized something. There's a podcast. I mean, it is a
podcast.
Facebook. Shut the fuck up. So we got the Facebook chat here, and it looks everything changed a little bit in the studio.
Yeah,
and the way we see things
are a little bit different.
What is in front of us is different. What you see is a little bit different too, because the
We're
whole wall is a green screen now. You don't see that, but it's kind of cool. I had a feeling you were gonna troll me when I told you the design.
I was thinking.
I thought you were gonna show up with a fucking green shirt and like you were a dick.
No. The problem was I actually couldn't find a green shirt that shared the same like color.
Oh, pretty
as
much
the
any
green.
green gets faded is weird.
So I was going to like order one that is actually like
is my hair visible? No, it was actually the wrong tone of green. No, it actually changes color. It's not. So the color you see on camera is not the color that my hair actually is.
Yeah,
it's modified
it's
some
more
of the green
blue,
off.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us again. This is the Freak and the Deviant, the podcast about freak and deviant behavior, anything and everything that might label you a freak or a deviant by regular society. That is exactly what we'd like to talk about. So how you doing? What kind of weird situations you got for me today?
Well, it's the weekend before Christmas. It is the Sunday before Christmas.
Fuck that Christmas shit.
And a lot of people are having their candlelight services tonight or some other nights. And I kind of have like that midnight talker vibe going on right now.
Yeah, what is that, NPR?
Well, it'd be NPR. And I listen to the classical station. They
talk to me softly, baby. Come on. You got to turn some of our fans on, right?
There's one I would need to research on, like actual like sex talk shows, like the ones where
that's a thing, right?
Yeah, it's an actual like thing. Like not like ours, which is just bombastic and.
This is just chaotic and free conversation about sexual behavior, but other than that, this is not really a sex show, is it?
No,
it's more
not really.
of a weirdo show. Whatever our opinion is about
a particular weird subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people are having their candlelight services, and probably.
What the fuck's a candlelight service?
You don't know what a candlelight service is?
Is that the Jewish thing with the the trident? No, I don't know what you call that thing.
No, it's not.
Menorah, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Right.
But no, it is not one of those. No, a candlelight service is generally just an extra service done in the evening, at least in.
Services in like the church.
In the church,
you have to go and listen to the idiot talk for an hour.
You go and you listen. It's kind of like a more showy version of church. So you actually go.
Showy? Do they do tricks?
Sometimes.
Are you serious? Fuck.
But it's like a lot of singing. You go through. It's pretty interesting, and I have some stories about candlelight services. Some really fun ones where I was the audio guy one time, and
so the dude with the mixer, or?
Yeah, I was the dude with the mixer because I
Okay.
knew how to do it. And the mixer was super old, and you basically just clicked one button after another for the entire service, and it was so boring. I actually missed a cue because I was totally in the back of the pew getting a handy.
Oh shit! That's amazing.
And so
while getting the handy, you were doing the work.
I was doing the work.
You were doing the Lord's work.
I was doing God's work.
Oh, of course you were.
I was
not very well, but you were doing it.
I mean, I technically didn't spill her seed
Oh!
outside, so spilled my seed.
You didn't spill the seed?
I didn't spill the seed.
Did she catch it or what?
Yeah, mouth.
Oh. What the fuck was the hand? Wanted a blowjob?
No, it wasn't a blowjob.
So
it was
she gave you a hand
handy.
job and then caught it in her mouth?
Yeah.
Why did she give you a blowjob?
That's a great question.
What a weird Wow.
Yeah, what a weird situation. I think
I've never heard of a handy ending like that. Usually the girl gives you a handy because she doesn't want to give you a blowjob. But if she's willing to take a fucking load in the mouth, might as well give a blowjob. What is the fucking difference?
I don't know. Oh, I forgot to bring my shot glass. I actually measured out how much semen I had.
Oh yeah, and you didn't bring it with you didn't bring your seat to the show.
I actually have a shot glass that I've measured out with permanent marker.
You put a marker on it. Oh, that's brilliant. And then with some water. And
it is a lot. It is way more than I thought it was going to be.
We got to do a demonstration. We'll fill it up with some kind of alcoholic drink and see how difficult that is to drink.
Yeah, see how bad of a shot of my jizz is. Oh my goodness! You know what we can put in it? We can put in Bailey's Irish Cream.
Huh?
Bailey's Irish Cream.
Bailey's Irish? Yeah.
Take a shot of Bailey's Irish Cream. Take my load's worth of Bailey's.
I was thinking yogurt.
I mean, yeah.
Sour cream is probably more...
Sour cream?
It's probably more accurate.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
It's like plain yogurt that has like no flavor, but it has
I really enjoy plain yogurt.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do
I
you
like it with
add anything to it?
I add a little bit of granola.
No, all right. Well, I mean, that's supposed to be like a healthy food or some shit, right?
I have no idea.
What is yogurt, by the way? Is that just...
It's just milk.
It's rotten milk, right? Just like cheese?
Yeah. Just with a different culture, I think. I wouldn't know. I have friends who know.
What's a culture?
I have no idea. Here, give me yours for a second.
Your what?
Your culture.
I don't have one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What is that?
You missed that joke completely. It's okay.
I completely did. I'm asking what it is, and you're like, give me one. What the fuck does that mean? Give me a plumbus. Even that has a fucking definition. You know what a plumbus is. Would you like one? Everybody knows what a plumbus is for.
I mean, of course. I know what I use it for. And I'm assuming that's just what everyone else uses it for.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
You know they sell that?
Yeah, they do.
Sell the plumbus and it's like gummy.
Yeah.
You can eat it. That's fucking goofy.
Wait, you eat yours?
No, I don't have one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I understood that. God damn it. I'm behind today, man. I'm not getting all the jokes on time.
It's pretty bad. It'll be a good time. So, yeah, candlelight services, I think a lot of them happen tonight. Sometimes they happen after Christmas. It depends on your church. But that was like a thing where you basically go to church and then you're very somber walking in and then you do a bunch of singing.
Somber walking.
Yeah, so like you walk in, everyone's really quiet and no one really wants to talk about stuff. And then...
I remember there was a part of church where you're supposed to shake people's hands.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
It's like a meet and greet for us.
That's so fucking
dumb. In my church, it was
You
very
never
much...
talked to anybody whose hand you shook that day.
Well, there's the thing. In your church, it was probably pretty big. My church, it like maxed out, I think, at like 35 people.
Oh, that's pretty small. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
my church maxed out like
yeah, when I went
small.
to church, we're talking about 100 and maybe 150-ish.
Yeah, that was way more people than I had in my
churches.
church.
I never thought about that. There is smaller churches, and then there's those mega fucking churches that charge out the ass to go.
Huge freaking churches. No, my church was very small, which was really funny because it was really hard to get any sex done in that church.
And you tried.
I tried. I succeeded.
Oh, you got a handy.
Way more than a handy.
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, I said you at least got that because you already told that story.
No, I wanted to. That was like a thing. I wanted to go full blown sex on that, but she said no. So
was that some part of like there's a king to that, right? To do it in the forbidden place.
Oh yeah.
Put it in the forbidden hole.
That would have been great.
Spill the seed on the floor.
The forbidden hole in the forbidden place, and then purposefully like come on the carpet.
Yeah, it'll never come off either.
It'll never come out. I think they pulled up the carpet before they sold the church to actually.
They ripped some carpet in church.
It was a Mexican Southern Baptist group that we sold it to.
What do you sell to?
They sold the church because our church was.
You can buy a church. Why did that never cross my mind? Can we buy a church?
Should we buy a church?
Can we throw raves in it?
Oh, absolutely.
Just have orgies and like just under new management and put a fucking disco
yeah.
ball in there.
You know I would have a dungeon.
Throw some orgies. Yeah, put a fucking... There's probably already a dungeon in there. They have to punish some of those kids at some point, right?
I mean, ours didn't.
There's got to be a dungeon
That's not
in there
true.
too. You didn't know where it was, but there was a fucking dungeon.
So in the very center of my church, there was like this nice like garden thing, and after a while, like it had like it was open to the air and it was like a garden.
Okay.
It was the very center of the building.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little weird, and there was like 3 or 4 entrances. And after a while, no one tended to the garden, so it all died.
So it was just like a bunch of dirt.
It was just a barren like place with like a dead tree in it, and all the doors were boarded and locked. And I swear,
What the fuck?
you could have done some messed up stuff in that part of the and no one would have heard you because it's in the center of a building.
That's fascinating.
So yeah, I know where the dungeon was.
So you can make that into a dungeon, really?
Yeah, you could easily make that into a dungeon, but it was really cool.
What a weird, because isn't there a whole thing about churches not paying taxes? Who owns the property? Like, is there is the priest the owner, or is there like a bigger? Now I'm thinking kind of like a franchise. There's like, the Catholic Church owns blah. They own thousands of properties. I know that.
For mine, it was we actually had a sort of joint thing, so where like the church committee owned a portion of the church, and then the actual organization, the Baptist organization, owned the other section of the church. Okay. Like they had like a joint ownership thing going on, and so when we sold it, we had to get permission from them to sell it to another church. Yeah.
Interesting.
Incidentally, the church is right next to a porn shop.
Because of course you gotta.
Clientele, man.
You gotta fit
all
the needs, man. Yeah.
Location.
Absolutely.
It's
good
stuff.
Fuck.
Yeah, and so like, I mean, most of the candlelight services I didn't work. Like I would just go out there.
You didn't even get to the point of why is it called a candlelight? Does that mean that they have candles?
Yeah,
every
so
church has candles. Why is this specially called candlelight?
The thing about the candlelight service is typically that everyone in our church, everyone got a candle. Sometimes it's different, where it's only the deacons that have candles. Sometimes it's different, where only certain members have candles. But those individuals get candles, and then they light the candles. The priest has a candle, and he is the first one with the candle, and he passes it, and the
lighting
light,
people's candles.
The
and
light.
Shit?
Well, he lights the first candle, and then that person lights another person candle, and then everyone.
It's like telephone.
It's like telephone, except with
fire.
With the light of Jesus Christ, our Lord.
Shut the fuck up! I was fire. It was just fire. The light of Jesus.
The light of Jesus
so fucking
Christ.
Silly.
And I zipped up my pants.
That always. That's amazing. That's always the thing that drives me insane about, like, you see people posting all over the internet. It's like, I couldn't have done that with Jesus, and like, did you try without Jesus? Just.
I never try anything without Jesus.
Most people try things without Jesus, and when they accomplish it, they still thank Jesus.
I love trying everything with Jesus.
That dude gets the most fucking credit for the shit that never happened. Like,
yeah, me coming into a girl's mouth in the middle of candlelight service.
Was that because
Jesus was there, and he was watching.
He was watching.
Probably jerking it in the corner.
There was a thing that happened. There was a whole thing about boycotting Netflix.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Yeah,
they portrayed Jesus as gay.
Yeah,
and a bunch of people are like, "What the fuck? You can't make Jesus gay." Like, why the fuck not? You make him white, nobody gives a shit. You make him magic, and that's not a thing either. What does it matter if he's gay? It was the weirdest fucking thing, and apparently a lot of people are against Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to something. Oh, this is something I'd like to talk about. I told you about the show called The Green Room.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's
you showed me the
it only
show.
has 2 seasons. It didn't last very long. It's been long done, but it was partly produced by George Carlin's daughter, Kelly Carlin, and the whole concept was that most comedians have met other comedians through being on the same show a particular night.
Right.
So like, oh, we're both performing at this venue, and every venue has what do you call it? It's called the Green Room.
Green Room, right?
Which is where you hang out backstage before you go on.
Right.
And a lot of really interesting conversation happens there, so they designed a show over it where a bunch of comedians of different genres would kind of communicate and say, like, hey, what kind of jokes do you tell? Oh, I got to tell you this story that happened last week. This thing I went down the road that was fucking amazing, and this drug addict, this, that, and you start telling all kind of crazy stories, and they made a show about that, which is fucking amazing. It's brilliant for comedy, like people who are into comedy to just find their personal, like how they don't talk like as if they're in their own show. They talk like people.
Yeah, they talk.
And
normal.
you never think of what the fuck one of those guys talks like to their friends.
Yeah.
Right? You see a comedian, you're like, oh, he's like that. Mm-hmm. Bo Burnham is in an episode with a bunch of older comedians, and he's like, well, I'm part of the younger generation of comedians, so I got a question for all of you. Who are you?
Oh,
brilliant fucking joke. And he didn't break character. He's like, We're like, just serious face. Who the fuck are all of you? Ray Romano was there.
That's great.
Like that, I think that was the biggest name there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, I can't even name the other guys, but there's a couple other comedians there that I've heard of, but I'm not familiar with. There's one where you see Louis Black next to Ron White.
Wow.
And it's like, what an interesting... And somebody asked the question. It was like, do you realize you're both basically connected to the opposite side of the aisle? Mm-hmm. Like, Ron White is very much redneck for Republican conservative people. Louis Black is very much liberal all the way on the other side. And it's fascinating because none of them are either of those things. Mm-hmm. And Louis Black said, like, I don't care who comes to my show. I do my show because I like it. And he's like, Ron White is like, anybody willing to pay to see me, I like them. I don't care. So they don't give a fuck what the people's politics are. Or like, I'm a performer. I like the kind of... Anyway.
Yeah, it's the performing thing.
But yeah, that's something... Anyway, I was listening to Penn Jillette. This is what my train of thought. Penn Jillette is in one of those episodes. And he talks about... how that most people that boycott a particular product don't understand what boycotting means, because he had a show called Bullshit, where a lot of people send angry letters about how we're gonna boycott you. So like most people that wrote letters didn't seem to have seen the show, the episode they're complaining about, where they criticize a particular thing
Right.
that they believe in. And it's like, but you didn't see the. Why didn't you get someone who to defend the? Like, we did usually 3 or 4 people that are defending your position are in the show defending the position and still look silly. And you start realizing that the people that wrote that letter are fans of a particular person that they made fun of. Mm-hmm. And then they got a letter writing crew and they send letters in. It's like, but if you don't watch the show and you don't pay for showtime, you're not entitled to an opinion. Mm-hmm. This is not boycotting. This is bitching. Yeah, this is different. Boycotting means I watch this. Like, if I'm a fan of like Rick and Morty, and I actually pay for YouTube TV to be able to watch Rick and Morty and WWE, which are the 2 things I watch on live TV. So I actually pay to watch Rick and Morty, and if, for example, they did something, I can't think of anything they could possibly do to offend me, but say they did something, if I wanted to boycott, I canceled the fucking service and, find other ways to watch the things I want to watch. But that's what boycotting is. That means you cut the thing you're paying for because you're complaining about what they do. That's how people complain about canceling Netflix. Mm-hmm. Damn near everybody has Netflix. I don't think anybody who boycotts a single part of Netflix will cancel Netflix.
Yeah, there's the thing. It's like, I just won't watch it, and it's like, really? I mean, I don't really watch much Netflix.
You don't?
No, not really.
Oh, wow. How about Disney Plus?
No.
Mandalorian? No,
I haven't seen the Mandalorian.
That's becoming the next Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's like the next big thing.
Yeah, they're fucking up. And right now, The Witcher is a thing on Netflix that's becoming very popular.
I'm actually somewhat interested in watching The Witcher because I played all the games.
Oh, it's a game?
I have. Yeah, it was a game first. Actually, no, it was a book first. Then it was a game.
No, I don't know anything about it. I just heard the name pop up and like, oh my god, new really Witcher! Fun. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the games are really fun, especially the third one. The first 2, they're definitely catching their stride.
Are they worth playing during stream? Like, I can not this channel. I have a Spider Gaming on Twitch. So, by the way, I started a gaming channel, Twitch.tv.
I didn't. I don't
Spider
have the time.
Gaming. No, you don't have the time. But whenever you find the time, we'll put you like on VR or something and just kind of show people a game that we have or something. I don't know.
I don't play like Shadow. I really want to play Shadow of the Colossus or I want to see you play Subnautica on VR.
Oh, that's that weird. We need a computer system for that.
Yeah, you need an actual computer system for that.
We haven't even gotten to. Yeah, have you gotten the cable yet? We need a cable for it.
No, I haven't gotten the cable.
Yeah, it's like a $10 cable. We'll get around it.
Yeah, I haven't been able to do anything this week. I've been working.
Yeah, no. Once you get some free time, we'll plan something.
I might get free time next week.
On the weekend?
No, on the week.
Damn, fuck. I'm up on Friday, Saturday. We'll make plans off.
We'll make plans afterward.
But yeah, gaming is like the next kind of thing for me to pursue, something to just kind of stream. Other than the podcast, I mean, and again, we just kind of cleaned up the studio to make it a little more accessible for anything we're going to do. Mm-hmm. So this giant green screen is definitely handy. We don't have to be setting it up all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I will take any recommendations. Well, I guess there's not many people watching live anymore. But I would be curious if, like, should we replace the tablecloth? Because this is actually part of the skirt from the parade.
Make it green.
You want to disappear the table? Is
I
that what you
want
want
to
to do?
disappear the table.
It'd
be awesome.
It's already an option. You want to do it?
Not right now. I can't even see your hand.
Yeah. Here. It's a magic trick. How's this up here with everything? Yeah, there you go. Now my mouse is gone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Interestingly enough, this actually exposes something I did. So the logo for the freaking Deviant was already printed on this cloth. The green is completely disappeared.
Right.
So I put also on the editing program that I'm using, I actually placed floating torsos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. So on the software, I basically put a green square underneath the table.
Oh.
So that
that's how that works.
this is not see-through, right? So the moment I put a green cloth on it and that logo disappears, you'll see the green square that's underneath there.
Oh, that's really cool.
Isn't that interesting? That's what I had to do to make sure this is still green. So you work with layers. I know I work with what I got, and I'm particularly good at video stuff. As you can see, you saw me set this shit up.
Yeah.
I got out of work at
That's pretty
10:30, so within like 30 to 45 minutes, I had this fucking thing ready to go. Everything was unplugged. The microphones were in the car because I had a karaoke party. I took everything out. The mixer thankfully stayed here because I got another mixer. But oh my god, I think I'm having allergies right now.
Yes, we have, and it's amazing.
We have an invisibility cloak. We do.
Yep.
Contact. Oh, chocolate. It's been a while.
Contacted the Ministry of Magic.
Funny enough,
I am the Senate.
If you, shut up, Trump.
What?
Nothing.
That was a.
I know what it is. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Well, I think we should get back on topic.
Here, I want you to wrap yourself with this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just that section.
Just this section.
Yeah. Do with that what you will. I'm sure you'll have some fun. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there he is. How's that feel? How does that feel? We had to have fun with the fucking green screen, right? It had to happen. You want to read that? I don't know what language that is. French? Italian?
What? Look, Rayman looking at. I do look like Rayman. Yeah.
Who's Rayman?
It is a video game character.
Oh, fantastic! Floating head.
Yeah, he's like a head and torso with like floating arms, and like floating feet.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Anyways, I was gonna get back to it. Yeah, so Christmas. Is coming up.
Fucking Christmas. I'm trying to take us away from it because I fucking hate Christmas.
Yeah, so why do you hate Christmas?
I don't know. I can probably trace it back to the hypocrisy. I fucking hate hypocrites. I hate people pretending to like something they don't like. And every experience I had growing up with my family, you get the shittiest fucking presents and someone pretends it's the best thing in the world. That drove me insane. Because I know, like, I had cousins and shit that would get, like, something that's not a video game. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Because I grew up in a generation where almost every year video games are the shit to get. Mm-hmm. That's what you want. A console or a video game, right? Electronics. Right. And they get, like, a fucking custom book or, you know what I mean? Or a cool sweater. And they go, oh my god, yeah, and it's getting so cold. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You hate it. Fucking admit it. Adults do it way better. Mm-hmm. Kids are like, yeah, you can kind of tell, but everybody expects kids to not like their gifts. But adults, god damn it, be honest. What do you got to lose? Mom?
Yeah.
Fuck mom. What has she done for me lately?
Right? Yeah.
I fucking hated seeing adults receive something fucking stupid like a gift card and get excited over it when they don't want it. I always hated the hypocrisy of Christmas. Dope. Oh, is it like it's gonna be a... Are you enjoying this?
I'm enjoying this. You keep talking.
It's an avocado.
I am.
Am I getting a lump of coal? Fucking joke's on you. You have any idea how hard coal is to get?
No, it depends on where you live, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I'm
Gift
sorry
cards
you're-
are a scam. Absolutely. Fuck gift
I mean,
cards.
I usually get a lot of really good stuff for Christmas. I'm sorry your Christmas sucks.
Maybe I just had a shitty family.
I mean,
maybe I hate
probably.
families. Okay.
I mean, you probably did have a shitty family, or at least partially. My family's awesome.
Yeah, they are pretty awesome, and I think I've been with your family for Christmas before. But to be fair, I don't believe your family has ever given you something you didn't like.
That's fair.
So
Yeah.
you would never have to fake that reaction.
Yeah.
So you didn't get a practice on being dishonest.
Not doing that, no. Plenty of other places.
You know,
Plenty of other places.
sexual escapades, kinks.
Yeah,
This whole
sexcapades.
show has been still 33 episodes in, and your parents still have no idea what kind of fucking weirdo you are.
Yeah, right.
That's the most fascinating thing. So how do you feel about gift cards?
Me, gift cards? It depends on where the gift card is. So, like,
So there are some good gift cards, I guess.
yeah. So it depends on where my gift cards are going to be
See,
coming
that's
from.
that's what a good family would do, right? I got to read the comments out loud. Usually, I choose almost all the gifts my family gets from me.
Yeah, same here. Like when it comes Christmas time, we send out lists, and then people get stuff on the list. They don't get anything off the list. And if you put something generic like I want a shirt or I want a cool shirt, then it is up to the buyer's choice.
Okay, so that's a good thing to tell me though. I want a cool shirt. I'll design a shirt with something funny you said last week, because that's the kind of guy I am. I like giving custom-made shit that you cannot buy anywhere else.
Right.
That's the kind of shit. That's the kind of gifts I like giving. Unique things.
Yeah, but there's the thing is that it depends on what you're getting. Like if I get a gift card to like Walmart, I'm far better at that
Yeah.
than getting a gift card to like Hot Topic.
There's fuck you. You have any idea how much money I spent on Hot Topic?
I don't want to
I
know how much
forgot
money.
to tell you about this.
Oh, great.
I own skinny jeans now.
Oh, yeah, no, you did tell me. You told me
did-
last week.
I just dyed them yesterday.
Oh.
They are
Are they
now
okay,
red
or
and
are
black.
they still
Yeah,
dead?
they came out perfectly fine.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing. They look like they were made that way. But so yeah, I own that now. I was gonna say Amazon gift cards and Walmart gift cards probably a nice gift, right? The amount of shit you can get at those two stores is absurd.
Yeah.
Like
I do agree,
you
though.
can go
Yeah,
wherever you
why
want.
not just give the person cash? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, what is it with cash? Is it, like it's considered not a good gift? I remember.
I mean, I always consider cash a good gift. You can give me cash anytime you want.
I remember seeing a gift that was pretty unique. We should probably talk about that, like cool gifts that you've had.
Cool gifts that I've received.
I saw one of my uncles gave my grandma a plant because she likes plants.
Mm-hmm.
However, it had a bunch of $100 bills on each leaf.
Oh, wow.
So that
Jeez.
plant was carrying some money. And it's like, here, you get a new plant, and it's a fucking, it's a Dollar Tree, I guess.
It's
As
a
it is.
Dollar
Yeah,
Tree.
It's a money tree. And yeah, she got to like clip all the fucking things, and it was like, I don't know, a couple $1,000s worth of hundreds.
Jeez.
So that was an interesting one. He bought her a hotel. Just to give a person a ceremony.
Yeah, so I do agree with that. Like, why not just give them cash?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
No, a Dollar Tree is a store. I know. It was
You're doing great, Chocolate. You're doing great. You'll be fine.
But yeah, so like, what have you?
Let's see. Neat gifts that I've gotten. Well, I've had some pretty funny gag gifts. Over the years.
Is that really what you appreciate? Gag gifts?
I enjoy really thoughtful gag gifts. Like if I ask for a gag gift, if you give me a gag gift, it needs to be thoughtful.
Interesting.
I don't want like a bong, like a shitty little dick bong. It's like, yeah, you could have gotten this gag gift for anyone. I want a gag gift that is
That is funny to you.
funny to me.
So like that little doll would have been hilarious.
Yes, this little doll would have been a great gag gift.
Interesting. Anything else that's Baymax? Oh, a Baymax dildo.
That would have been
That's a
a good
gag
that's
gift.
a good gag gift.
And if that doesn't gag you, we gotta look for something thicker, cause
No, it's never going to be thick enough. You know that. You know better than that.
oh,
I sing opera. I got a big mouth, an even bigger throat.
Baymax blow up doll. Baymax is a blow up doll. It's amazing. Oh fuck.
Yeah, so I enjoy the good gag gift, the occasional good gag gift. Blib, 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 blib.
There's I got a friend of mine that actually got a gag gift once of it was a set for what do you call it when you like stitch something together with two sticks?
Knitting,
Knitting. It was a knitting set.
as opposed to crochet or
Nah,
macrame or.
Why do you have to change it? Just one word.
Look, my sister does this absolutely too much, so she forces it down my throat. I'm gonna force it down yours.
Well, those needles are a little short for a throat. That's definitely gonna gag you. He has a ball with the gags. But so a friend of mine it was a gag gift from one of his friends. It was just, they were trolling him, right? And just to be silly, they gave him a set of those needles and
knitting needles,
string, whatever the fuck. It was
and
a
some
set.
yarn.
It was a set to do that with. So the next year, I shit you not, that dude learned how to use the fucking thing and knitted a sweater for the guy who gave him that.
Oh my god, that
With
is
the
amazing.
sleeve the wrong size, all fucking lopsided, and that is the biggest fuck you to that gag. And that is a tradition now. Every year, this dude knits something different for Christmas, and that's what the other guy's getting for the rest of his fucking friendship.
Oh, that is amazing. I
getting
would accept
something
it
knitted.
with pride. I would accept it with pride. I'd be like, this is amazing.
That is a brilliant thing to do with a gag gift. Use it, and then make gifts for the guy who gave you that shit.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Now this dude knows how to fucking knit now. He can knit anything. He's been doing it for like 2-3 years now. It's fucking hilarious.
That is amazing. That is probably the best thing to do with a gag gift.
Yeah. On the other side, what does that say? But to force it down your throat like a Baymax dildo. I want to say that. Some of that like sounds like a good shirt design. Some of the stuff Chocolate comes up with has to be on shirts. Use a blow-up Baymax to make something special for a friend. Are you satisfied with your service?
Anyways, yeah, so I mean, you don't really do Christmas very often. You don't do the whole
No, I don't do gifts
gift-giving
at
thing,
all, no.
which is really great for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You gave me a jacket once.
I did.
You asked for, like, what can I get you? And I'm like, I'm looking for a jacket. You just got it.
I got it. I made
didn't
more
think
money
you
back
would.
then.
I didn't think you would. That thing was expensive as fuck.
I
It's
like I
just
said, I made more money. Like I said, I had the money to do it.
Yeah,
so I
that's
just
true.
did it.
You were giving away a lot of money. We were throwing a lot of money into a relationship too.
Oh, way too much. But that's a story for another time.
Shitty relationship for another time. I did intend to buy you, like, I want to make you a shirt, and you never gave me any ideas, so I think I'm gonna make you, if I ever intend to give you something, make you a hoodie with a really cool, funny thing to put on. A gag hoodie.
A gag hoodie. I'd be down. I wear it to work.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. What does that say? What the fuck is?
I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. But yeah, something when it comes to gifting, I actually enjoy gifting shit, but I don't buy you an expensive thing. I buy you whatever it costs, something unique that will make you feel something.
Right.
To me, gifting is like a form of art. So very often I think one of the big there's a YouTube video for this I made. So I had a story where my girlfriend was telling me a story about what is that movie called? The dinosaur movie from
Which one?
1988.
Oh, Land Before Time?
That one. So apparently that's the year she was born, by the way. So she grew up with that movie.
God damn,
the
you guys are
movie
young.
Fuck you. What the fuck? We're older than you.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Shut up. It's already established, I think. People can Google us, by the way. Our names are publicly on the fucking podcast. I'm sure you can find my profile and have my... Oh, no, my age is not in it. Yeah, never mind then. Fucking whippersnappers. But yeah, so she was a big fan of that movie, and she said that when she was born, or before she was born, her grandma bought her a stuffed animal from that movie.
Was it the mom?
Huh?
Was it the mom?
No, Littlefoot, I think it was
Oh,
called.
I hope it was
know
the
what
mom, because
character.
then when she loses it, it's perfect irony.
That's fucked up. But no, the character's Littlefoot. I have no idea what character that is in the movie. I'm assuming that's a
It's
kid.
the main character.
Oh, it's a kid.
Yeah, it's the main character.
But it's a kid, right? Littlefoot sounds like a kid's name.
I mean, yeah, it is a kid, but it'd
Okay.
be a little weird when it grows up because he's still going to be Littlefoot.
That doesn't stick.
Yeah,
But
really doesn't.
But
Oh
she
man,
has
there's
a-
some fucked up shit about that series too.
oh, is there?
Yeah, there is. There is some messed up stuff. But do continue before I get into that. Oh boy, that is a whole thing.
So she had and she described this doll, and that she said she used to hug it, and it was like, it went to her knees, and she described it as massive, right? It was like this huge doll I used to have, and I'm like, yeah, but you were a kid. And I remember having a similar experience in my life where I shit you not, I had a skunk. I had a skunk doll that I loved, that I like slept with, and it was, now that I remember, uncomfortable as all hell because it was damn near solid, not fluffy. It had like beads, like those beanbags.
Yeah.
That's what it had in there, but it wasn't like squishy. It was like very solid. I don't know how it was made, but I remember having that thing and then like forgot about it, and like years later I saw it hidden somewhere, and I'm like, this thing is tiny. I remember it massive. And it's not like someone replaced it. I grew up. People change sizes over the lifetime, and you completely forget the size, the way you saw it at the time looked huge. So I couldn't think of a good sex joke there. Anyway, so she described it. I went and did some research and found some antique salesperson on like eBay, and I found an actual 1988 fluffy little foot. You know how specific that is? Because they still make them to this day.
Really?
You can probably still find them new, but they're not. It's not the same, right? You have to find the one that was made in 1988 because that's the year the movie came out, and that's when it becomes a collectible.
Right.
I don't remember how much I paid for the fucking thing, but it was a little pricier than I wanted it to be. But it actually had the tag that said 1988 on it, and it was a little. It was not in the best shape, but it wasn't shit. It was all right. And then I kind of kept looking and see like how big did they get? They only got about like this big. They were never made huge.
Yeah.
And I gifted to her, and I made a whole video about her reaction. She started fucking crying because she never thought she lost it. She lost it when she was a kid, and she completely forgot about it. And I was like, oh, I remember I used to have a doll for that movie, and that's why I love this movie so much. And I'm like, yeah, and that appeared later on. It appeared on her in her room. She had it. Then also, like, I think my wife told me about a story she grew up with. Like, it was a kid's book that her mom read to her, and I fucking found it, and it was very difficult. I kept looking for it, and I'm like, nobody makes that book. And sure enough, I found the fucking thing, and it now has like tear marks on it because she cried on it when she got it. It was before they put the shiny thing on books.
Yeah.
They were basically paper. So she cried on it, and it's like clink, 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 like, you idiot. You ruined it. It's no longer collectible. Anyway, I make bitches cry.
You make me cry.
No, I don't.
You make a very particular part of me cry.
Wait, what part?
My dick.
Why did...
You asked for it.
Why
You
the
asked for
fuck
it.
did that catch me off guard?
You asked for
it's
it.
the obvious thing to say, and I completely didn't expect it.
You asked for it, just like my dick.
It just pisses a little. Oh, it's fucked up. I know you've given me food before, and absurd. I know once you spent like 13, 14 hours making a fucking brisket for my birthday. That's the better gift than any things.
That's one of the things
Because you
I do.
spend that much time to just make something that's gonna disappear by the end of the night.
Though there's the thing is that it also, in my opinion, when it comes to things like birthdays and stuff like that, you can get someone a really nice gift, but typically for older people, what they don't want, the best thing, the thing that they don't want for their birthday
You call me older?
is, well, I mean, just older people in general.
Okay.
As in, like, if you're above a certain age, you don't want things anymore. You just want less stress about a particular thing.
Just take away this chore.
And so, like,
So
cooking,
doing someone's laundry.
yeah, so like cooking or doing someone's
I never
laundry,
thought about it that way.
or
interesting.
helping with like the party or something,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
actually a better gift to give someone than like a crappy gift card or something.
That's fucking interesting.
Why would I give that to you where you're gonna go spend it, you'll probably like it, whatever, or I could just really ease the burden of whatever you're attempting to do in your life.
We got Chuckla saying, have y'all heard of the love languages?
That seems to... I think that goes over my head. I don't know what you're referencing there.
Look at this fucking geriatric whippersnapper.
Geriatric whippersnapper.
What's a whippersnapper? Isn't that what a cracker is?
No.
A cracker's someone who whips the whip.
No, a whippersnapper...
Cracker's the sound of the whip for slave masters.
Fair.
So how's whippersnapper not the same thing?
I don't know its origin, but it's typically referred to as a young person.
A whippersnapper is a young person?
Yeah.
What's a hooligan?
That would be a young person who is associated with crime.
With crime? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's like a punk now?
Yeah, punk.
Interesting. All right. I'm learning. Oh, wait. This is the time. Yeah. I'm such an idiot.
Every time.
No, we actually don't do it every time. It's been a while. Last time I tried it, it wasn't working at all.
So how many Christmases do you remember where you actually went to church?
Ooh, fuck. All of them before I left Mexico.
Oh,
I think that was a had to. It was never on my choice.
well, tell me about them, because I don't know what it's like to grow up in Mexico in Christmas time.
I hate to tell you, I was not paying attention most of the time. So it was as boring as church usually was, which is you sit there, they do things. At some point, you have to go and get the mouth thing if you went ahead of time and confessed whatever the fuck you. I never understood that either. By the way, they would tell me like, do your confession, and like, what should I say? Well, like, whatever you feel bad for. I'm like what? I didn't know what we were looking for really. It was like I lied to my mom the other day. I guess like I don't know. I wasn't committing crimes at the time, so I didn't know what the fuck to confess to.
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't really have confessionals in the Baptist thing.
Would you have done hey, I got a handy on the back seat?
Like, I don't know if I would have.
I
don't know what there was like a confessional period, but like some people went up and basically just like talked about like things that were really like affecting them that day. Like they come up and just talk to the pastor, and the pastor was kind of just like a person to talk to who would listen and
it was
try
an
and console
untrained
you.
therapist.
Yeah, an untrained therapist. Actually, I'd say he was probably more trained than a lot of people. But I had a very nice pastor.
Experienced might be the term, not trained.
It's true. Maybe not trained, but definitely experienced.
He's seen enough fuck ups that he kind of knows.
Yeah, and he's helped a lot of people who were fuck ups too.
I like to think that a priest would lose his faith in humanity faster than most humans would. Because he gets to see all the shittiest behaviors, and like they confess, it was like, I beat my wife again, I slipped back into alcoholism, I raped my kid, like shit like that will come up constantly in the confession thing, right?
There's the thing, in my church, probably not. Like I said, there was only like 30 of us.
And they were all nice people.
And they were all decent.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of churches where most people are nice. It's not, but however, humanity by and large is garbage. So chances are a preacher is probably the guy who hears the most crimes. Are they allowed to report a crime?
I have no idea.
Like if a guy comes and admits like, oh yeah, I robbed that liquor store last week, does the priest have to go and
I think
tattletale?
I think that I don't know. Really don't know, because again,
should we read that out loud? That's fascinating.
I was going to finish this.
So go for it. Yeah.
I don't know. Again, in my church, the confessional was more like, you are going through something. What are you going through?
Yeah.
Right? Not necessarily that. And it also was in front of the congregation, sort of. Like they would walk up and they would talk to him in private, and it was one by one. They were just next to each other, and everyone else was singing, so you couldn't hear shit. You couldn't hear what they were saying, but it was also not a lot of time. And his office was basically always open. Like the door was always open, so you could just walk in and talk to him. During either before or after service, you could just walk in and talk to the pastor. And whenever you walked in, you would just close the door behind you if it was something private.
I see.
Yeah, so that was...
Okay, so they do have to report it, apparently.
Yeah, tell that to the little kids.
Ooh, that's fucked up. So
But
true.
true.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Yeah, I can't argue with that shit.
I'm assuming that they should report it unless it's, you know, something.
Unless they're the criminal.
Unless they're the
made
criminal.
me feel-
Or if it was someone who maybe a benefactor had reported it, you know, someone who was quite wealthy in the church might have. There have been many cases where
I
that
can
has been.
see that. Yeah.
There's been more than a few cases where that has been the thing, where someone who had a lot of money came in and confessed crimes and they covered it up
Yep.
because
that's
that
the
person
thing.
had a lot of money.
And you're not gonna fight that dude.
Yep.
He can afford a lawyer.
Yeah. And so they're just like, nope,
So
not gonna do it.
Chocolate commented, the 5 languages are listed as word of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch.
This is with the love languages.
Is that a book or something?
It says are a concept that was developed to describe the kinds of behavior that a person prefers to give/receive as a form of affection.
Oh,
The 5 languages
it does
are
come from a
listed
book. Okay.
as words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch.
Let's get into that. What do you prefer? We
There-
hug a lot. I'm definitely a hugger. So physical touch is something I give a lot.
I think your physical touch and quality time.
Yeah. I don't know. Receiving gifts is
I mean, I'm assuming you like receiving gifts, but it's not really
not
one of
my
those
thing.
things that.
I'm damn near impossible to give anything to. This is why you were kind of celebrating that you could buy me a jacket, because there's nothing I want that I don't have. I'm such a what do you call it? It's not impulsive, but the things I want are very specific, and I work towards getting them until I have them. Mm-hmm. So custom made deck of cards, my face on a shirt.
I'm definitely more
like that
of
kind
like.
of shit.
I'm definitely more of like an acts of service, quality time kind of person. Like,
Would you consider the podcast quality time for us, or?
oh,
is just,
absolutely.
I feel like this is.
I don't know
this
how
is therapy.
it defines it though. I don't know how quality time defines it, but I'm assuming it is just time spent with another individual that is meaningful to both parties. So I think that's what quality time would be.
Well, honestly, part of the reason we started the fucking podcast is because our conversations are always like this. This is something I like. After like a couple of years of hanging out with
It's
you,
hilarious whenever we are at a party, we start basically doing a podcast.
we're basically starting to do a podcast there because we analyze everything. We make fun of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Some word comes out and we destroy whoever said whatever that thing was. We're impossible to heckle. We're impossible to insult.
It's really hard.
Yeah. So and we don't have a train of thought, so you can't really derail us. You know, you throw something out, the whole subject changes in that direction, and that's the conversation now, which I enjoy. I have had conversations with people that the moment I change the subject, you know, I just make a joke and I'm like, oh, and then the Simpsons did this thing, you know, some shit like that, and they're like, no, we're talking about stay on the subject. Like, no, I don't have the rails. I don't keep in the topic. What is it? It's all basically what you think of
Given the names. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious.
Words of affirmation sounds interesting, like compliments.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I suck at receiving those. I've been given compliments and I'm like, I don't care. Fuck you.
After doing so much singing, you get a lot of compliments. And
Yeah,
you
people
have to,
kiss
like,
your ass a lot when you sing.
Yeah,
opera.
it's really one of those things, and I'm still terrible at it.
I don't think you receive them well. No,
No, I'm terrible at it.
it doesn't. I don't believe it makes you feel good.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. The thing is that there's so much of like, I know I'm doing a good job because I have put so much effort into this. The words of affirmation are basically people coming up and telling me like you did a great job is about the same as someone clapping. You know, a confirmation that you did succeed in the thing that you did.
Just a thumbs up.
Yeah, a thumbs up would technically be better.
Was it you respond accordingly, right? Thumbs
Yeah.
up. All right.
Sweet. Thanks. I'm glad I did a good job.
Hey Alex, you're talented. You piece of garbage. See that feels better for some reason.
It actually does.
Because it's a compliment, but they're admitting you're like, what do you call it? Like they're treating you as a flawed human, but you still have a thing that you did right.
You put a fantastic amount of labor into things that you choose to do, and I recognize that. Fuck you.
That's amazing. I remember. I think
It's a good one. It's a
Rick
good
and
one.
Morty. At some point, Rick says something like, yeah, your booze doesn't affect me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah, but like something like that is actually a more comprehensive compliment, like instead of
Yeah.
like you did so well. But it also depends on like where it's coming from. Like a lot of people, when you look at a particular art form, will do magic, right? They don't know what goes into that performance.
This is, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
They
about.
don't know what goes into it. When someone who does magic comes up to you and goes, "Holy crap, that's amazing," you know, that would mean more to you than someone who literally just came off the street, probably a little drunk, that you've done at a party, and says, "Wow, you're an amazing person."
You
like,
can do that thumb thing, the Houdini.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, the thumb thing.
Yeah, Houdini pretended to take his thumb off like that, and it actually fooled people. Nowadays, anybody, it's just in the green screen. It's all special effects.
It's all special effects.
It's all car mechanic.
Watch this.
He's actually doing it. I actually have thumb tips that you can grab like an actual thumb
Yeah,
tip.
here, let me try.
Oh yeah, no, you can't tell at all. That's amazing.
This is not working. This is definitely not working.
I was doing a trick for a performer at Texas Renaissance Fair,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a magician. He actually has a tent, and this is free magic, and he's like, that's an actual performer getting paid there to do magic tricks.
Yeah.
And he's amazing at very simple tricks. I've seen other magicians do a variety of tricks, and I'm never impressed by magicians.
Mm-hmm.
Him on the other side did very simple tricks with like 3 or 4 cards, and blew my mind because he did the handling so well. One trick that he does beautifully, even though I know exactly how it's done, is an old ass trick. I actually have it with me. You probably have seen it.
Probably.
Not by me, but you've probably seen
Mm-hmm.
it because it's a famous magic trick. And it's done with 2 rubber bands. Does that give you the...
Yes, I think I know what we're
information?
talking about. Yes.
Yeah, that gives you the information. I'm going to try it on the camera just for the fuck of it.
So you just pulled 2 rubber bands off.
I'm not
for our
particularly
listeners.
good at this trick. However, it's a beautiful trick when you're good at it. And he made it look flawless, so much so that he tells someone, like as part of his performance, he's like, you would think this is when something happens, and that's exactly when the trick is happening, and you don't see it. So the trick is you grab 2 rubber bands, basically made handcuffs off of them. I don't know if you can see them on the screen. Yeah, you can. And it's like, if you stretch like this, what happens? The rubber bands stretch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you stretch, you would think this is the perfect moment for them to let go. But what would happen if I let go now? Like if the rubber bands let go now, they will snap, right? But see, if you actually press a little bit, you can actually make them snap off, just like that. Do you see the trick? Okay, so I didn't do it particularly well. I caught myself doing it wrong. But he did that shit right here.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, he goes behind a girl and does the trick across her back,
Wow.
in front of her face, like just does it, and they don't catch him ever. And he's like particularly proud of it, and I'm like, that's the best I've ever seen that dumb fucking trick done. It's one of the simplest tricks. The handling's very simplistic, and he actually points out the moment it's happening. He's like, this would be a good time to do it, right? But it's not. And I'm like, yes, it is. That is exactly when you're supposed to do the trick. And I couldn't catch it.
Yeah, so we have a thing here. It says, I have some rules about compliments. Compliment things that people can control. Be thorough but not wordy, and be specific. Really think about what it is that you're complimenting. Don't just walk up and jabber something out. Essentially, compliment people's virtues and not their properties.
Ah.
Then this fuck pulls out a Svengali deck.
That's totally happened before. I've been to parties where the performer got paid to be there, and he pulls out a 7 guy. At some point, one of this motherfuckers pulled his phone and does this thing where the card appears on the phone.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, you downloaded that app? Oh, my God. I was
good
so fucking mad.
It's good stuff, though.
Yeah. At some point, I did a trick for this particular guy who's really good with the rubber bands. There he is. His name is Jakeem the Magician. You can probably find his Facebook and stuff. I like to give him a shout out. But that guy, I did one of my best card tricks that I know how to do, that I invented. And it's intended for magicians. It's the reverse.
The one that you.
Yeah.
The one that you.
I devised this just to show the magicians, and I want to know their opinions. Mm-hmm. And it's like, could you see any move? And it's like, I know exactly what you did, but not because of anything you did. I just deduced it because I know how I would do the trick. Mm-hmm. But no, I did not see you a single move that was beautiful. And I'm like, that's the best way. That's such a beautiful compliment from a magician. That is like, I know how you did it because I'm a magician. And I analyze what you just did. However, I didn't see you do a fucking thing. My girlfriend says that all the time. I know what he did. I never fucking see it because I'm that good. There's a lot of practice involved in doing some of the dumb fucking card tricks I do.
The rubber band trick is like an omelet. It's simple, but it shows off how solid your basics are.
Yeah, I suppose. He also did, the basic trick.
Honestly, I think cups and balls is
such a basic trick, and you can master
It's probably the omelet, actually. Not necessarily rubber band, but definitely cups and balls. This is like the first thing you learn when you're doing magic.
Cups and balls, yeah.
Is cups and balls.
Cups and balls like this.
It's like when you're
it's
cooking,
more like
the first thing you learn is how to cook
egg.
an omelet. Like, and then like you can see people who can really cook an omelet.
Fuck yeah! I've seen live a dude put his hat down and then pulled like not a watermelon. What do you call it? A melon?
Yeah, it's like a.
He pulled a melon
Cantaloupe?
out of his sack. A cantaloupe. Yeah, he pulled it out of his sack and appeared it from under the hat. And I mean, I saw the fucking cantaloupe. I walked behind him, and I saw the fucking cantaloupe on his thing. I didn't see him pull it out into the fucking hat.
That's
You
great.
know, by the end of the trick, because that's his ender, I was in the front of the crowd, and at no point did I catch him do something that he had to have done. Like, the misdirection was so fucking beautifully done that he actually goes back here, grabs a fucking cantaloupe, and puts it under his hat to then reveal that it came out of the hat. There's only one way to perform that. There's just no machine that does that for you.
Yeah.
There's no magnet that can hide that. There's nothing that he could have done other than reach back, grab a heavy ass fucking thing, and put it under his hat. And I still didn't see it do it. It's again, some guys know how to do that fucking trick beautifully.
Yeah, so I'd say cups and balls is more like the omelet.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways,
Yeah.
Christmas sucks.
Christmas. I'm less okay with the actuality of Christmas, but I'm very much okay with the spirit of it. So the standard, what you would consider a gift-giving season, something to sort of show to your friends in a particular season. Less specifically for individual basis, because you say, well, why don't you just give gifts to your friends all the time?
Yeah.
But for me personally, I think it's actually based on it gives people an incentive to save up for a particular time, because people save up for Christmas.
I think, the thing is, people also make bonuses for Christmas. So it's better to gift them in the next month when the paycheck. I know my biggest paycheck is the first one of January because I got a lot of Christmas bonuses coming in. So this is something I had a discussion with my mom about a long time ago, because it's the Mother's Day thing. I don't believe in it, and that hurt her feelings for a couple of years. Now she almost advertises that I'm a better son because I treat my mom to whatever I can afford to give her every chance I see her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I go see my mom, I take her out to eat, or I bring her a gift, or I make her something that, one of my things that I made. I make her an extra one and give it to her.
Don't worry about me. You keep going.
He's playing with the green screen. But yeah, I told her that if I have to wait for a special day to be nice to my mom, I'm a fucking shitty son. Right? You should be nice to your mom any chance you can. Be nice to your mom. If you can't afford it, it's nice. If Mother's Day comes in and you're broke, Happy Mother's Day works fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I visit my mother almost every weekend. Mother's Day is just a fancier dinner. So why does it have to be a fancier dinner? Why is that day special? This is another thing. I don't believe any day is special in and of itself. I just don't.
You don't believe the day that our Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior, was born?
Isaac Newton? No, I don't.
I don't. Isaac Newton. He's kind of
That
blasé,
dude is bows.
He's kind of passe, Someone else would have taken his place.
That being
It's
said,
fine.
I do like giving things. I just don't like having a special date that you do it in. Now recently that has changed because I have a son, and I refuse to have my son not get gifts, because I was actually reading a friend magician of mine that is like, tell kids that there is a Santa Claus because the magic of he's a magician. So he's like, you got to keep the magic alive. And I'm like, well, yeah, but not like that. Like, take credit.
Mm-hmm.
I would appear magic. Like, you know what I mean? I want to do magic tricks where I appear gifts for my son, and he'll be amazed because Daddy is more magical than Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa Claus does it while he's asleep.
I
You
legitimately
do it while he's looking
right at me. That's how I give him the fucking infinity thing.
Yeah, now you're magic.
Yeah, I'm the magician. But at some point, I think I picked it up from Penn Jillette. He talked about how his mom died on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. And one of the last things she requested from Teller actually is if he could grab. Apparently, when you're in the hospital and you're already on your deathbed, people keep bringing you like balloons and flowers and shit.
Right.
And there were some balloons just kind of flurrying around in the room, and she felt that those looked trapped in the room. So one of the last things she asked of Teller was, "Can you let those balloons out the window?" And so he did, and that became Penn Jillette's New Year's tradition. She died on New Year's. Mm-hmm. So New Year's Eve, he goes and buy a bunch of balloons. Teller brings a bunch of balloons to his family too, and all the kids kind of let balloons go in the air, and that's their little tradition that it came from. That's what my mom wanted when she died, so that's what I'm gonna do every year the day she died.
You think?
And that's such a cool.
Here's an interesting concept. Mm-hmm. Here's an interesting concept. You think that one of the reasons? So, in my opinion, days become special due to events that happen to you. Do you think people make events happen, or they choose these events, right? So Christmas, New Year's, things like that, because the start of the year is neat and all, but it really doesn't do a whole bunch, not this day and age. It did originally, the start of the season, the ending of the harvest, things like that, starting winter, blah blah blah. But in this day and age, not really, right? The New Year's is kind of like passed over from generation to generation. Over. But like for things like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, you think these people are trying to make events instead of just having events happen to them? So in order to have those great days, the days that Penn Jillette has, where his mother requested,
is this special day that something cool happened?
That something interesting happened. You think that people who are sort of going out and doing Valentine's Day or doing this and doing that are trying to make those days happen. Whether it's a thought. I don't know. It's a stupid thought.
Something. Is this
Shower
special?
thoughts.
Is this special because you made it special, or is it special because it's special on its own?
Right.
That's really the discussion there, and I find it it's one of those things that I found fascinating. And give me a second.
God bless you.
Fuck you in the ass with a dildo. As opposed to
never,
what?
I never,
As opposed to what?
Oh, there's a million things you could probably stick in my ass. Honestly, I don't even. Oh yeah, it'll fit. Here, wait 1 second. There you go.
Much better.
That way it glides in.
Oh my god. I'll spit on it. Chuck Ladd says, honestly, it could be any day of the years. I would never care. I make special days out of nothing sometimes. Thank you very much. But the point is to take the time to make time, if that makes sense. I suppose. I mean, I'm not against it. I just don't understand it much.
Incidentally, I never bless you unless it's on the podcast.
Thank you.
Like, just so everyone knows, I never say that.
Yeah, I don't think you do that. I don't think you're allowed to in this house, but...
No, I only do that literally on the podcast because I find it hilarious.
You're a dick. You're a troll. That's what you are.
I try my best. That's not true. I try my worst.
Do your worst! But yeah, so I actually, because of my son, and I know he has a Christmas break, and he doesn't come back till like later in January, I think. I started thinking like, well, I would like him to come back to school saying, this is what I got, right? It doesn't have to be a Christmas gift. Again, I don't celebrate Christmas. We don't have a party for that. There's no fucking tree here. Technically, there's Christmas lights in this room, but they've been here for a while. They're too like the room.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so I don't do that. But on New Year's Eve, I made it a goal to like a New Year's present, and I don't necessarily buy it on New Year. Like it could, I could buy it on the second
Yeah.
or third, anywhere near the New Year. I'm celebrating the end of the year by giving my son something nice, right? That's the plan that I have in my head, but it has nothing to do with a day being special. But
Don't read that. Don't read
Don't
that.
read that. Shit. But what the fuck was I talking about? But yeah, this whole idea that like you need to wait for a particular date to be nice to your mom or a birthday thing. For one, I think after 21, you should stop celebrating your birthdays, right?
I mean, I largely.
What is the goal now?
So I don't think that is I don't think that is necessarily something for you to celebrate, right? People give gifts to you. If you want to
So
throw
is
a
it
fun
other
party for
people's-
yourself, well, I mean, think of it like when you celebrate your son's birthday, not necessarily for his sake, but
See,
for that you are enjoying
will-
his life.
Chucklet said the goal is to have a house party. Think about this. Do I need an excuse to do that?
No,
I do it constantly. I have parties here all the fucking time because I like having parties at my house. I like having a gathering of friends together. It's a thing that It's just,
honestly, I think it's more like another New Year. Because the New Year is the general year, but your birthday is your complete year.
yeah. And then there's like anniversaries for relationships.
I don't really do a lot of anniversaries.
You don't do those?
No, not really. How about this? I'm really terrible at remembering dates. I don't even remember 2 of my siblings' birthdays.
You know mine.
No.
You have to cook a brisket.
You tell me
It's
literally a
coming
week
soon.
beforehand.
Yes, I do.
And that is
that's because there's a
exactly
party. That's because there's a party, not because it's my birthday. But like, it's gonna be a Friday, so let's throw a party and have some brisket.
And like I make it a thing, but you have to tell me before, and I tell you every single year. Tell me at least a week beforehand because I do not know when it's coming.
Okay.
And
I'll definitely warn you before we do it.
it's like a gay bathhouse man. You never know when he's coming.
Jesus Christ. Oh fuck. So
Yeah, I don't expect people to remember my birthdays. I just let people know like a week or 2 beforehand so that they can plan.
yeah. All right.
Because I don't remember people's birthdays. I'm terrible with dates. So if like anniversaries and things like that, I'm awful. Like it's like, oh, it's the anniversary of our first date, and I'm like, it is.
Do we want to celebrate the anniversary of the podcast?
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about politics on that one.
We're gonna talk about politics.
How about this? Do we want to decide?
But, I mean, we talked about politics last week. I don't want to tell you too much.
Oh yeah.
But
that's
I
fair.
mean, but the anniversary is coming in a couple of months, so we got time to do
Either
another
that, or
politics.
we like go balls to the wall and see if we can actually get banned from Twitch unintentionally.
Talking
Like
about politics.
we really just talk and show whatever we want. Not necessarily like porn specifically, but stuff on like YouTube that might be a little risque for Twitch. We just
Well, like the
show.
exploding penises for the duck.
Yeah. Well, we can show
That's something
that
I
there.
really wanted to show.
The grapefruit
It's sort
technique.
of educational, and somehow
Yeah.
it became a thing. I've been watching a lot of what does it talk about race and extremism?
Ooh, that would be a good one. Some of the more
Race and
crazier. I
extreme
would want to talk
ideologies.
about cults because we haven't really dived into cults very much.
I mean, there is one here in Austin that I'd like to talk about, but I'm not sure how ready I am to burn those bridges.
Fair enough. Hey, the year for our podcast is coming up. You know,
Shut
good
the
time
fuck
for
up. To
good
burn
fighting.
some bridges.
Hey.
Cuff, cuff, cuff. This what was I gonna talk about? I lost my train of thought already. No, I was gonna say I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about video games lately, and I don't mean like new video games. I'm talking about like the first Super Mario. The first Punch Out was fascinating. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah.
They only made that because they wanted to use more screens for arcades.
Yeah.
So they have a double screen and only you play the game on one and then like the face of the fighters on the other one. I thought that was fucking dumb. That actually got released on VR, by the way.
Really.
Punch Out VR. So that game's still alive. It's one of the older games before Mario. And I thought that was fucking interesting.
I love Super Punch Out. Have you seen the blindfolded Punch Out?
No.
So the
So people play it without. Yeah.
They play Punch Out blind.
Yeah, because it's so easy and memorable. Pong still lives. I just watched one about Tetris, about how that was kind of it was invented by like the Russians in
It was like a Russian dude and
and he was trapped in like socialist Russia. He wasn't allowed to sell the rights.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed to do it, and then he,
So he
he
couldn't
eventually
fucking-
came back and managed to acquire rights.
Yeah, no, he managed to sell them.
Yeah.
But there was it was a whole battle where like the government got involved to not let him sell without their permission, because it's the first video game Russia will ever sell. Like that was like a thing. I also remember like I watched another one about how like Super Mario 2 was, they faked it for us.
Oh yeah, no,
It was too difficult.
It was called Doki Doki Panic over in Japan.
Yeah. So they basically not a. Oh man, that's not a good thing.
Everything okay?
But yeah, so the video game, the actual developer for Super Mario made a Super Mario 2, and it was basically it was the same music and just more difficult levels. And a lot of people were accusing a lot of people would the American director or whatever who was in charge of bringing the game from Japan to the United States, is people are going to accuse that game of being a ROM with a mod, and people are going to hate it because it's too difficult for Americans.
Yeah.
There was like no payout, very difficult game. So it was like, well, people are expecting something new, something different. So they fucking scrambled around, and they had actually developed another game for a festival. It was advertising for a festival. And they just like, well, it is a game developed by the same developers as Mario, and it is a new take on a Mario-like game, but with different characters. So they just changed all the characters to Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad, and the whole game came out. And you can see like back-to-back images, and they're basically the same game with different characters.
Now, Chocolate. I don't know if it technically is. I think there's some debate about the first video game ever, because there's between that, which is the retrofitted oscilloscope, there's also Noughts and Crosses that was invented slightly before that, and we don't know which one really happens first. There's like an entire thing about it, about what qualifies as a game, as a video game, because when you get really deep into it, does something like Noughts and Crosses count because it was technically digital and on the machine that they used, and it was intense. You can look it up. It might have been tennis, or it might have been tic-tac-toe.
Okay.
When it comes to the first video game ever. It really
That's
is like a
interesting.
huge debate, like in the video game world, like what was the first one, because
That's
it might have been
fascinating.
a tennis style that actually had like vectoring and stuff in
You
it.
know what's funny? You know what Tetris means, right?
But 4?
It was a combination of two words, tetra and tennis. Mm-hmm. Because every piece had 4 blocks specifically. And that's the word they were designed. It's actually a reinvention of a game they did have in Soviet Russia, which was a puzzle game where you have like the rectangle and a bunch of pieces that all have 5 blocks each, and you can fit them into basically making that rectangle. He just took a piece off, and it was 4 blocks instead of 5 to make it fit into the computer. And yeah, no, I saw a whole documentary about it. It's fucking fascinating.
I played so much of that. Yeah, the
Lost the train of thought.
yeah,
didn't I? I completely lost the train. I'm like, what the fuck are we
just
talking about?
Derailed. Yeah, so you've been watching a lot of stuff about video games. Now, how many video games did you get during Christmas?
Oh my god. Did I?
I got so many video games during Christmas.
I don't remember getting video games for Christmas. No, the when I got, I owned a Nintendo 64 and a Super Nintendo. Those are the only consoles I ever owned, and they were passed on to me. They were not given. I think the 64. Here's where I found out recently. Recently, I mean, in the last like 5 years or so. The 64 I know was one of my cousins, and they just gave it to me because they got not the 64, the Super Nintendo.
Oh.
The 64, however, was a gift from my dad, my estranged dad, that I saw maybe once or twice in my lifetime. Gave me a Nintendo 64 for my birthday or something. And I was actually kind of upset when he gave it to me, because when I opened it, it was definitely not new. It was repackaged. So it looked as if somebody has gotten it, returned it, and then gifted because the cables were not wrapped. They were kind of balled up. You know what I mean? There was no plastic on anything. It was just like kind of thrown in there. And I'm like, that's interesting. So years later, I come to find out, my brother lives with me. I come to find out that he owned a Nintendo 64 and my dad took it away from him. And I'm like, wait, what year? It was just, what? So my dad took away my stepbrother's
N64.
and then took it to Mexico to his actual son. What a dick.
Aishimai.
See, shitty family. Like
Fair
I
enough.
said,
Yeah,
it's
no,
just-
none of that.
I have
weird
every reason
stuff
to
any
hate prisons
happens
and
to my
stuff.
family at all.
That's fucked up.
Oh, yeah. So, saw a headline. CDC confirms that THC additive vitamin E acetate is the culprit in most vaping deaths.
Dope.
Yeah, that was the thing.
That's interesting on the news.
Yeah.
Is that what we are now? NPR?
I sure hope not.
What does NPR stand? Non-profit radio?
No, it's a National Public Radio.
National Public Non-profit radio.
My dad listens to NPR. That's how I know.
What can we turn that into that is perverted? No.
Nipples, penises, and rectums.
That's what we are now. That's the name of the podcast from now on.
Nipples, penises,
and rectums. Episode negative 34. Wait for it. We're going to talk about politics. Oh, fuck. It's car mechanics.
It's just car
So,
mechanics.
we're almost out of time, but I got one last thing that I wanted to do because I have to, because I really enjoy watching people react to epic rap battles. So, are you ready to watch Thanos versus Dr. Oppenheimer?
Yes. So if you're we're going to be basically ending up the podcast basically right here. So if you want to stay around, I have not seen this epic rap battle at all.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to get a reaction out of him. So we're gonna watch this and then call it a show afterwards. We're gonna.
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't become a tradition, but I like to kind of. I really like to get you right while epic rap battles is still going on.
I don't
fascinating.
know. I don't know.
And I know
I think they're
you know who
interesting.
Thanos is, and you know who Dr. Oppenheimer is. So
Yeah, Robert Oppenheimer.
Robert. Sorry.
Bob.
This is J. Robert Oppenheimer.
I don't know. I just know
Interesting.
him as Oppenheimer.
Anyway, here we go.
All right. Let's see here. Pipe. Oh, dude, they got like an entire like silicone mask.
Oh yeah. My palm, yeah.
Dude, congratulations,
looks
you triggered a
miserable.
Vietnam flashback.
Ooh. Ooh. Dr. Manhattan.
Dude, I'm not even gonna get into Dr. Manhattan versus Thanos.
Well, he was in the Manhattan Project, so that's
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh.
Damn. Dude, he looks so sad. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Interesting. Oh.
This is actually really good. I enjoyed this a
Yeah.
lot.
I had a feeling this was all you. Oh yeah. Oh! That's fucked up.
I enjoyed the I Am Become Deaf one. That
Yeah.
was cool.
Helicopter. Ooh.
Nice. I enjoyed that one too. Thanos. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
You die.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I enjoyed that one a lot better than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I had a feeling you might get into that one because
Yeah.
it's so out there.
Did you get the Squirrel Girl reference?
No, I did not. What does that
Okay,
mean?
so in the actual Marvel canon,
I had a feeling this is comic books,
yeah,
not
it's
the
a comic
movies.
books. There is a hero named Squirrel Girl, and one of her powers is, you need to stop the timer.
Oh yeah.
One of her powers is that the stronger her opponent is, the stronger she is, and
Oh.
she actually fights Thanos and wins.
Because she gets stronger.
Yeah, and she beats him, and then it is confirmed by Uatu the Watcher that it is in fact the real Thanos who fought Squirrel Girl and lost.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the Hulk. Didn't the Hulk get more strong the angrier he gets?
Yes, he does.
Like he didn't have an actual limit. He could just get bigger and stronger.
Yeah,
Constantly.
the Hulk gets crazy.
All right. Well, that was the show for this week. Thank you guys very much for watching. Life is chaos.
Nothing is sacred.
Good night, everybody.